It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No. We're gonna watch and listen.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Grizzly Is on the Hunt with Nate Mulligan. We have some technical difficulty issues, so I'm actually got Nate on the telephone with me. Good morning, Nate. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good. How about you?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So I do apologize about the issues we're having, but hey, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. I've been dying to have you on the show. So tell everybody about yourself and some background information on you.
Well, I'm Nate Mulligan, and I used to live on a farm in Virginia, and I used to trap, hunt, fish, and camp out. Live on a farm, and of course, you have to work your life away on a farm. So I got tired of that and started doing something else. Started doing professional wrestling. I've done that for years and done a little construction work here and there, but now I'm enjoying life in Florida.
Wow, wrestling. Now that's interesting. So what got you involved into the paranormal field, especially Bigfoot?
Well, I was in River Hills in Virginia where I used to live, and I was trapping, and I kept feeling like something was watching me. And I could hear noises behind me, but I couldn't see nothing.
Right.
And every time I would move, it would move. And I could see down in a holler about probably 75, 80 yards away. And I could see something moving. And every time I would take a step, it would take a step. And it was a big, hairy, black thing. See, people said, oh, it's a bear. I said, no, it's not a bear. I know what I've seen. I see it with my own two eyes. And later on, I was moving back toward another trap. And when I got over to it was a box trap, and I had a fox in it. And it was just squalling and hollering. And that thing kept coming forward towards me. And the further it got to me, the bigger it got. And I seen it. It was within 30 or 40 yards of me. And it was about 8 or 9 feet tall, probably 300 or 400 pounds. And it had a long face on it, like a skull face, had horns, long, pointy ears, and red eyes. And it screamed at me. So I thought, well, I'll just run. But no, I didn't want to run. I had a gun. I thought maybe I'll shoot it. And I said, no, that'd probably just make it mad. And, I just said, I'll ease out. And I just started easing out. And the more I walked, the closer it got to me. So I just took off running. And man, it come after me wide open. And when I got to a place where I could jump over a bank like 100 foot, I jumped over that bank. It stayed up there. I got about 100 yards away from it, and it screamed and hollered so loud you could hear it for miles, all echoing all over the mountain.
Then you got me shaking. You got me literally shaking right now. I mean,
man,
oh my God. So you were out there trapping. And I mean, now describe this creature again. I mean, what did it look like?
It was black, about 8.5, 9 feet tall, shoulders about 3 to 4 feet wide. It had long black pointy ears, had horns on it with a skull face and red eyes.
Wow. And it
scared me.
That is something.
And I told people about it, and they said, oh, you're just making that crap up. And I said, no, I can take you back to exactly the site where I seen it, where it ran me out of the mountains. And when it ran me out of the mountains, I got about 100 yards away from it, and it screamed. Then after that, everything else was quiet. I never heard no birds, no crickets, nothing in the woods, no squirrels, nothing. It was just dead quiet.
That is incredible. So, there is a creature, somebody out there, Crazy Witch Gigi, everybody, hello, welcome to the show, everybody, good morning. There is a creature, what is it called, that has that skull and horns? Yeah, what is it called?
Wendigo.
Yes, a
A Wendigo.
Wendigo. Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct. Oh my
And
God.
let me tell you something. It made me go too.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't stick around. There is no way in hell that I would stick around for something. So what? This is incredible. I mean, now I've interviewed a lot of people. I have been out in the woods. Now, there's a lot of things I cannot explain. Okay, I understand that. Now, I've never encountered one of these Wendigos. Now, I have heard people that have. Now, Gigi says a Wendigo, a Bigfoot. Now, Wendigo is not a Bigfoot. It's something. It's a folklore. Uh, the best thing I can say is, and unfortunately, I hate to say this, but Grizzly say is going to say duck, duck, go or Google it, and it will show you what a Wendigo is. And it's the Indian folklore, and it goes back eons, and they roam the woods. Now, what's interesting about the Wendigo with this particular case, he was trapping animals. So I don't know. Now, Wendigos, correct me if I'm wrong, crazy witches or crazy witch, they're Native American legends and are cannibals. Yes, that is correct. GG is Wendigo Bigfoot, Facebook user. I love stories like this. Well, I do too, but I don't want to be there. The guys are 100 times more believable than any of the experts. I mean, can you imagine? Were you alone when this happened?
Yeah, I was by myself.
Yeah. See, I couldn't. Yeah. No. 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 That's just something else. I mean, how long ago did this happen?
This is back in 78 and 79.
Wow. Now, when this happened, what happened to you? How did this affect your life?
Well, it's always, it's always going to be in the back of my mind because when you close your eyes, you can see it. I mean, you can see it directly right in front of you or chasing you. And it just turned my life around. I won't go back in the mountains by myself no more. I done said that, no.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go.
I don't blame you. I mean, I wouldn't either. Hello, Missy. Welcome to the show. Welcome back, Missy. Thank you for joining. We got Nate talking about a Wendigo that he had a run in the mountains while he was trapping. Very scary story. Gave me the chills just even thinking about it. I even hate talking about Dog Man, but a Wendigo, yeah. On top of that, I mean, did you have nightmares after this and stuff? I mean, I just
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't sleep for probably 2 or 3 weeks off and on because every time I closed my eyes, I'd see it after me. I could see it reaching for me. And it was one hell of a scary thing, man. I mean, it just freaked me out. And my grandparents asked me, said, "What's wrong?" I said, "If I tell you, you wouldn't believe me. You'd think I was crazy." And that's why I never did say nothing to nobody, because even if I did and I talked about it, they'd say, "Oh, you're just making that up. That's somebody dressed up." Well, I got news for you. You can't go dress up in them mountains and run through there like that did. I'm sorry. Not going to happen.
yeah. Yeah, Gigi says, he just asked, did you have a nervous breakdown after that experience? And he's not joking at all. I mean, yeah, that's why I was asking about the nightmare, because I know a lot of people that encounters anything cryptid related, whether it's Bigfoot, Dogman, anything along those lines, they do. I mean, it really affects them because we're taught, ladies and gentlemen, and I say this almost every show, what is real and what is not real. And when you encounter or experience something like this, your mind protects the body, your brain protects it. And, when you first see something like this, you cannot process it. Crazy Witch is asking you, what was you actually trapping for? What type of animals?
Well, I trapped bobcat, fox, polecats, coons, raccoons, anything, anything I could trap for. Back in them days, it was good pelts. You could sell them for good money, but once I got scared and run out of the mountains, I never went back.
Wow. Gigi says he is telling the truth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. I have talked to Nate off air, right? Now, when I talk to people, I do talk to people before they come on the air because everybody wants to come on the air and tell their story and they want their 15 minutes of fame, right? I get that. But when I talked to Nate, I knew Nate was being serious. I knew Nate had a story to tell. But one thing that I really was upset was when Nate was telling me, and I'm not going to mention any names, that when Nate really wanted to come forward and was like, hey, I got a story to tell, people were making fun of him. And I'm like, what? Now, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. It took him years to come forward and said, hey, man, you know what? I have watched shows. I have watched you. I have listened to you. I've got a story to tell too. Yeah, it is weird. But you know what? It happened. And somebody wants to discredit me because I had an experience because somebody else didn't. Well, that's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I don't believe in Bigfoot. I don't believe in dogmen. That's right, because you never had an encounter. That's why you're not out in the woods. I mean, that's what he did for a living back then. He was a trapper. They sold pelts. Pelts were furs, the hides. Gigi, this is a very scary, and the government should be honest about what's out there, and people are telling the truth about their experiences. Absolutely, Gigi. He was going to come on live and show his face. In the ads, he shows his face. It took him a while to come forward. He went to people that we know and said, hey, I got a story, and they laughed at him. They didn't believe him. But guess what, Crazy Witch? We got him. He's telling the story. Crazy Witch was just wondering maybe it was coming from trapped animals as easy praise what I was asking. I was thinking the same thing. What do you think, Nate? Do you think because the animals was, screaming or carrying on, do you think it had attracted the Wendigo?
I think so. And I was in its territory, probably its feeding area, and I was taking its food away from it. And it said, no, you're not taking my food. This is mine. You're going to get out of the woods. That's the way I feel.
Wow. Gigi, sorry, Nate. I believe 98% of the population is in deep slumber. I do believe that, Gigi. You're right. PP. I don't know why I said that. People is what I meant to say. Do not want to believe in things that exist in La La Land out there in the woods because they don't go out there. Go out in the woods by yourself and see what happens. Look at all the missing 411s. Things happen out there. We can't explain what's out there walking around in the woods in the daytime or night. I have no idea. There's things that I cannot explain. There's things that, the glyphs that are left by these creatures or whatever. I don't know what I would do coming across a Wendigo. Yeah, I know what I would do. I would die. I would have a stroke and a heart attack at the same time. Gigi says, I'm sorry this happened to you. Brenda, good morning. Good morning to you, Brenda. Everyone, Grizzly, sorry for late being to the show. Hey, better late than never. Great Crazy Witch. Good morning, Brenda. Missy, just because I haven't seen one, that doesn't mean they don't exist. Just saying. Well, Missy, you know what? Here's what Grizzly says. So every time somebody says that something does exist, I think and wonder, what if? Now, when people across America or the world have these encounters, now, yes, do I say some of them are falsified or fake? Absolutely. And you know my old saying, do we have little Johnny in an ape suit running around drunk, causing havoc in the middle of the night? Causing havoc to people, at campsites and parks. Yeah, absolutely. We have the hoax, we have the fakes, we have all that stuff. But a Wendigo, you know, those are rare accounts and occasions. And usually when those happen, it's not like people come forward the next day and like, hey, I had a Wendigo account. I mean, this guy took him years. And when he did finally come forward, people laughed at him. And I don't appreciate that. And that's like when I try to tell people out in the community, when people come forward and they see people like Nate and they have their own encounter and they see Nate being crucified and mocked, and they're like, the hell with that. I'm not coming forward. Look what they did to Nate. I'm not telling my experience. Good morning, Midnight Squatchers. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Talking about Wendigo with Nate. So, yeah, I think that you did attract it. I think that you were in its territory. I think it probably did get upset. I think you're right. I think that you were actually, taking food off its table. So, I mean, how far back in the woods were you approximately?
About 5 miles.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So 5 miles, ladies and gentlemen, don't seem like a lot, but when you're walking in the woods, that's a pretty good little lick. And you were what, back in the hollows, you said?
Yeah, back in River Hills.
So that's pretty good little distance. Crazy Witch says, always keep an open mind. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to keep an open mind. Every time I say you draw the line, somebody else comes forward and erases that line, and you're like, what else? What else is out there? There are things out there that we do not know that exist. We think that we know everything. We don't. There are things that wash up on our beaches around the world every day that we do not know what they are. And what do? They get a backhoe and they bury it right there on the beach instead of getting a flatbed truck and taking it back to the office and figuring out what it is. And most of the time, when they don't know what it is, they say, oh, it's a whale carcass or it's something else along those lines. And I say BS. We're brainwashed. They tell us what they think it is, and they want us to believe what they think it is, and we believe it. So, I don't know. I could not handle seeing Dogman, and I sure in the heck couldn't see a Wendigo. Aussie Sue, welcome to the show. Welcome, everybody, she says. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about Wendigos with Nate. So, I mean, red eyes and horns. Now, I've never personally seen a Wendigo. Now, I've seen Wendigos online. I've seen Wendigos in news articles. I see Wendigos in books. What would you tell anybody else about your experience?
I tell them if they go into the woods, they better take somebody with them and something powerful if they're going to kill it, because I don't think you can really kill it, because if it gets after you, better be running. Because it's there to protect itself, protect its territory, all of its food, whatever. They just don't want you around. Protect yourself when you go in the woods. Don't enter the woods by yourself. I don't care what anybody says. I've done it, and I got the crap scared out of me. I won't do it again.
Brenda, just like the UFO, they tell us they're weather balloons. Yeah, right. Weather balloons, Chinese spy balloons, whatever the government tells us. Midnight Squatchers. I prefer an encounter with Sasquatch over a dogman or a Wendigo. Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. You know, with the endless mysteries that are out there. Let me tell you something. I would be so heavily medicated right now if I saw a Wendigo. I don't know what I would do. I would be even crazier than what I am. Crazy Witch, going into the woods prepared? Yes. Grizzly is always prepared. Now, I got a phone in one hand because he's on the air because I don't have my system set up yet. I got more equipment coming, so I got to redo my studio because I got other equipment set up. But in the other hand, I got my holy water. Now, I don't think holy water is going to help on that, but I do have something more powerful than that. But now, with that being said, I don't think that would probably even hurt a Wendigo. I don't think Wendigos can be killed. I have no idea. Now, I know Bigfoot bleeds. I know Bigfoot can be killed. I know that for a fact. Now, Dogman, I have no idea. I know they've been shot at. I know they've been shot. But Wendigos, I don't know. I don't know if they're supernatural. I don't know if they're flesh and blood. I have no idea. Gigi, Nate, I just Googled it. And I have had a heart attack. I just saw one and I have ended up on pills for the rest of my life. You are strong and brave making it out alive. And well, I know that's what I'm saying. I know what a Wendigo looks like. Now, yeah, see what I'm saying, Nate?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
man, when he first hit, I did not know, ladies and gentlemen, he saw a Wendigo. Now, when we talked, ladies and gentlemen, I was led to believe that he saw Bigfoot. And that's what our discussion I thought was talked about. When he said horns, I was like, I knew what it was about, I thought, when he said horns. Now that threw me for a loop. I'm not gonna say otherwise. That just threw me for a loop. Aussie Sue, hi, Crazy Witch, Midnight Squatchers. Gigi, the photos I saw, they look almost demonic. Now, let me see if I can do this with one hand. Let me see if I can bring it up for everybody to look at. I've got two monitors here because I've got new equipment. Let me see if I can Google a Wendigo and share a picture what it looks like. Wendigo, and share this screen with you to show you what one looks like. Because if you do not know what a Wendigo looks like, it is something horrifying. Now, I'm just going to pick up one picture, and it may not be the exact same thing that he saw, but this is something similar. And I'm going to click on it and share. Well, that's not the one I want. But we'll just use this picture right here. Let me present this screen here. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Share screen. Now, this is something similar. What happened here? Try this one more time. I apologize. I'm used to using two hands, not one. I got his phone. I got my phone in one hand and up to the mic so we can hear him. And there we go. Now, can you see, ladies and gentlemen, that is what something similar that he saw. That is what a Wendigo looks like. So that is some freaky stuff. So there are some pictures, ladies and gentlemen, what Wendigos look like. Now,
they also say it's a shapeshifter too.
Yes. Now, I'm going to take the phone away from the microphone just for a second because he's on. Now, is that something similar?
Yep, sure is.
Now, the picture that I've got up. Now, I showed you that picture. Now, what did you think about that picture I just showed you?
Well, the one I encountered with, it had a long white face on it. It's like a cow's head, the long nose, the skull, and the horns was up straight up, and its ears was up behind the horns.
And I just had something similar like that on here. Let's see here. All right, now, does any of these look familiar?
Yeah, that one on the left top right there looks like it.
Or
That right there on the bottom. That right there on the bottom, it got the long horns on it.
this one?
The one right there on the very bottom.
All right.
That's on the bottom right there.
Where's my finger? That one?
Right there. That one. That one. Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So I pointed to one, and I'm going to click on it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one he said he saw. All right. Are you still there? Nate, did I hang up on you? Hold on. Let me put you back on speaker. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me turn my volume back up. All right. Let's try it again. Nate, are you there?
Yeah.
All right. So the picture that you picked out is what I got up on the screen. And that's what you saw.
Yep.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I saw that screaming at me right here, I sure in the hell would not go back in the woods at all for the rest of my life. I'm sorry. So,
I haven't been back in the woods since 1978.
wow. That's pretty scary looking. So there's other pictures that are similar that's a little bit bigger. I was trying to blow up. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what a Wendigo looks like. You can Google it. Brenda's like, wow. Let me go back here to the comments here. Let me go back to my screen. Let's see here. South and West Yorkshire Paranormal Team. Hello there. How you doing? Crazy Witch. Ain't that more way up north mostly? Maybe there's something else running around that looks similar. I don't know. Just throwing out ideas. Crazy Witch? No, Wendigos are anywhere and everywhere. They're around the world. They actually have movies of Wendigos that are out there. Missy, if you compare Wendigos versus Bigfoot, it looks like a cuddly teddy bear. Well, you know what? I've actually heard Bigfoot wearing skulls as masks. Now, yes. So I don't know. Now, this is very different, Gigi says, from Bigfoot that feels evil. Yeah, well, yeah, this is I think, very evil. Aussie, I agree, Missy. Midnight Squatchers, that's some crazy stuff. That's not what he says, but he spells like bed sheets. Crazy Witch, wow, that's one thing I was seeing in my head. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Brenda, where did this happen again, Nate?
It's happened in Virginia where I used to live.
Aussie Sue, that would scare the crap out of anyone. Aussie Sue, I don't know if I could personally make it out of the woods. I don't think my legs would work. I really don't. Crazy Witch, I heard about mask wearing thing myself. Yes, I've actually heard that. Now, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm out there in the woods looking for Sasquatch or Bigfoot, and you're trying to play a joke on me, and you're a human being, and you come up to me in the woods wearing something like that, guess what?
You're going to get shot.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to holler one time, and you come any closer, that's what you're going to hear. I'm sorry. And then I'm going to throw holy water at the same time, because my bullets do have holy water, and I do carry silver. I can't even talk. I'm so nervous. Silver. I can't even talk. Silver bullets. There we go. Grizzly, I would be the same. I would freeze. Yeah, I couldn't run. There's no way. But there are actually horror movies out there that Wendigo stalk people and hunt people out in the woods for hunting in their area. I can't remember some of the horror movies that I've seen. I'll stop sharing the screen here. But no, I mean, that's pretty wild. I'm really sorry that you had that encounter. I couldn't live with that every day in and day out. I mean, that's just something. I mean, how do you deal with that still to the day?
I just try to put it in the back of my mind, and it's still there, regardless, especially when it turns dark at night time. And you got to go outside, or you think you hear things outside prowling around, this, that, and the other, and you just picture it right there, right in your face every time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with Nate talking about the Wendigo right after this commercial. We'll see you right back. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back with Grizzly on the Hunt with Nate. This edition is brought to you by Don Widener with Western Kentucky Bigfoot Paranormal Investigations, LLC. This is what this edition is brought to you by. We are talking about Wendigos from Virginia with Nate. Aussie, yes, I would definitely freeze. Crazy Witch. I wonder if Bigfoot and Dogman and other cryptids all fight over territories and such. You know, that is a very good question. I do not know the answer to that. Now, I have heard, now this is what I say, I have heard, I do not know, but some people say Bigfoot and Dogman do not get along. But then I also heard that people say they do get along, which does not make any sense to me. However, I do not see Bigfoot and Dogman out there playing patty cake with each other. So it's either one in the area or the other. I've never heard them or see them together. Crazy Witch, I'm sorry Nate had to go through something so traumatic. Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't do it. I mean, I've seen stuff on the police department, first responder. Hello, Laurel. Welcome to the show. Hello. She says, hi, everyone. Midnight Sasquatchers, Crazy Witch. I've heard that. They have been reports of them tangling with each other. Yes, I've heard that too. But it seems like, from what I gather, and this is not facts, this is just assumptions, right? That it's either one or the other in an area. I don't know if it's like they know one's coming and the other leaves, or I don't know. I heard they're territorial, but I don't know that for a fact, because it's not like we have the Farmer's Almanac that tells us, okay, Bigfoot's going to be in this area this month. Then after Bigfoot leaves, Dogman's going to come in. Then the Wendigo is going to come in after everybody, or the Wendigo is going to come in and just scare everybody off. So I don't know. That is a good question. Aussie, myself and my two sons that were 9 and 7 at the time came across Dogman in 1987. It was like yesterday. Still damn freaked us out. And it appeared on a road, and it was chasing a mob of kangaroos. Yes, I have heard that. Now, where Laurel is, I've heard Dogman has made several appearances. So we have had a lot of increased appearances or sightings of Dogman and Sasquatches. across the country. Now, we can contribute that to a lot of factors, right? We can say that people are coming forward and saying, hey, I have a story to tell, and I'm not the only one. Or we can say that, and we are encroaching on their property and land because we're building. So we're also having that as well. Aussie Sioux, I never knew what it was till a few years ago, and I never heard of them, only Yowies. And that's what I thought. Yeah, well, the other day we had to educate an Australian what a dog ban was, because she's never heard of a dog ban. And we had to educate her with pictures and so forth live on the show. Gigi, they've probably been more people than locked up in mental wards because of the trauma from encountering this being Bigfoot or alien abduction, and no one believed them. And we actually talked about this, ladies and gentlemen, on other shows. How many times do you think people has been locked up in asylums because they have witnessed something like this, and it's messed them up, being so traumatic, and come down with PTSD? I mean, you heard them, how long ago this has happened, and he has not been back in the woods since then. Do you blame him? No, I don't. I wouldn't go back in the woods. We've heard this before with people that has encountered Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Dogman, other cryptids. They don't. Hunters don't hunt anymore. Hikers do not hike. They gave it all up. I would too. Aussie Sioux, I never have or never will laugh or make fun of anyone's experience with cryptids. And you know what? I don't either. And here's why. I don't care how far stretched somebody's encounter may sound. I don't care how far unbelievable it may sound. Number one, I wasn't there, so I don't know. But people are seeing something. People are encountering something in the woods. Why would somebody come forward to be mocked at, made fun of? For what? They're not getting paid. They're not making money, So what's the point? Gigi, I don't blame him. He's smart for not going back. They know it's sent now. Well, man, that is another point. I never thought about that. I mean, how many times have we heard about Dogman sniffing up in the air, just sniffing? I've heard that. I've heard people say they've seen it. Now, I can't even imagine. I still got the picture of the window go up on my other monitor, and it's still freaking me out. Aussie Sioux, I don't blame him. I still will not go out of town at night since our sighting, since the full stop. You're not the only one, Aussie Sioux. A lot of people have that. When you encounter something like that people says that does not exist, that does not live amongst us, and you encounter something like that, I mean, how do you react? You're going to have that fear. It happens. You're just not going to blow it off and be like, oh, it's my figment of my imagination. I wish it was that easy. Laurel, I don't know how I would react if I had an interaction with a Bigfoot or Dogman. Bigfoot, I would die. Dogman, I would die. Indigo, I would probably just stroke out, die, and die again. There's no way I could run. I don't know how he ran from that. Now, speaking of running, Nate, how fast did this Indigo run?
He runs pretty quick because I run hard as I could run, and it seemed like the more I ran, the closer he got to me. I wasn't gaining nothing on him. He was gaining on me. And I run as hard as I could run for probably 300 or 400 yards. That's all I could do. And I just jumped over a bank.
Wow. Missy, some people can smell the weather to come. Yes. Yes. Now my dad, he can be outside and he'll be like, the rain is coming. And you can actually look at some trees and the trees leaves will turn upside down and let you know before it rains. Gigi. Yes, I heard that as well as many people. Crazy witch. When you're growing up, you think everything is fake, and it blows your mind when you grow up knowing things are out there. It's completely different. Man, we watch, hey, I never forget when Godzilla was out, when I was growing up. That gave me nightmares. Yes, Godzilla. Remember this? What you doing? Run. Here it comes. The old Godzilla, the black and white one. So, yes, Gigi, I know, right? Missy, crazy witch. Yeah, you can do that about the weather too. Laurel, yeah, I'm thinking about sprouting wings real quick. Man, let me tell you something. If I didn't have wings, I would definitely have something. Missy, crazy witch, me too, not always, but often. Crazy witch, I love Godzilla, LOL. Aussie Sue, yeah, you can blow it off, but it's also terrified. My two young sons, they're in their early 40s and now, and they still can't talk about it. Still, a lot of people cannot, and that's normal. A lot of people still suppress it and have issues. A lot of people still have nightmares, and a lot of people still have post-traumatic stress syndrome over it, and they don't admit it because they're embarrassed. They don't want to tell you that they had an encounter. They do not want to tell people because, what do you call that? A demon? Do you call that something from hell? It looks evil as hell to get out. I mean, is it real? Is it flesh and blood? I don't want to poke it and find out. Missy, there are many beings out there we don't know nothing about. And you're right. That is the point. The more people are out there in the woods, there are more things out there that we don't know about that exist. And a good point to look at is look in our ocean. We know more things about out there in our galaxy in space than we know what's in our waters, on Earth, in our ocean we don't know about. And that's what cracks me up. Gigi, Aussie, really? Wow. I was just guessing about the scent because my little chihuahua remembers people's scent. So that must be having ability times 1,000. Yes. Now, the human dog, or the human dog. Now, see, now I'm thinking dog man. Yes, the dogs can really smell. Crazy Witch agrees. Gigi, does your son see this type of being or was it a Bigfoot? Missy, I've seen in a room I'm in now years back, black mist in the corner. Very scary at first. Then I told it to F off, and it did. Never told anyone till now. Wow, Missy. She came out of the closet and just made a confession of what she saw. Aussie, Gigi, yes, they know that you're picking up the scent. They can track you. Now, I think Nate's right. I think that since he was actually trapping these animals, and a couple of them were making, noises, I think it did attract, that's my opinion, the Wendigo. And I think it was curious, probably upset that he was in its territory, and it did not like it. And it wanted to take care of him and get him out of the area. Midnight Swatchers, after my Bigfoot encounter in North California in the mid-90s, I still have issues going down that stretch of old logging road at night when I put up visiting. Yes, I know. Midnight Squatchers, yes. Don't worry about it. I am terrible with typing. I cannot type. Yeah, Crazy Witch, that is amazing that Missy made a confession live on the air. Hey, we all have encounters. Don't hold it in. Don't suppress it. you're not alone. Look how long it took Nate to come out. Gigi, thanks, Aussie. Crazy Witch, I totally agree. Aussie, Gigi, they were both in the car with me when the dog man appeared in front of us on the road. You know, we hear that all the time, ladies and gentlemen. You know, either you're by yourself or you have people with you when you have these encounters, and it scares you so bad you don't know what you do. I mean, listen to my voice. I'm nervous as go all get out. Matter of fact, let me close this picture. I don't even like it. There we go. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's just like blowing up right to the right of him, Nate. I mean, I don't. It's just. I mean, I've seen the movies. I know, so I know exactly. But I mean, I just cannot believe that you experienced something like that in all these years that you just, you try to tell people and they just treat you like dirt. That's what upsets me the most.
Yeah, you're the only one that ever listened to me and really made sense. You know, you told me to step forward, and I got tired of everybody making fun of me, laughing at me, and telling me this, telling me that. I know what I've seen. I experienced it in real life. And if you ever experience something like that, you'll hold it in for a while. Then you'll say, well, maybe I need to let it out, let everybody else know about it.
You're right, Nate, because you know what? You're not the only one. There's other people that's seen this creature and they're listening, or they're going to go back and hear the audio when I upload it. There's going to be people that's going to go back and be like, man, you know what? You need to listen to this and look at this picture. Is this what you saw? It's going to happen. Gigi, Missy, I have a similar experience. Thank you for sharing. See what I'm talking about? When people talk about their experiences, other people will come forward and say the same thing. That's what we're all talking about. So, yes, it's good to share everybody's experiences and let people know what you encounter. Sorry, I was looking at my other monitor because I wasn't caught up. Aussie, I agree, Grizzly. My whole family made fun of us, and when we told them, yeah, they do. I mean, I've got family members that look at me and they're like, "You believe in what? Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, I got pictures of prints, tracks, whatever. And they're like, "Yeah, whatever." People do. They make fun of you. Nate, that's over 40 years of holding it in. I'm so sorry. You're amazing. God bless you. That's what Gigi just said to you. That's amazing,
Well,
Gigi.
Back in them days, you didn't have a cell phone. You didn't think about cell phones and all that like you got right now. And you couldn't really take a picture of it, and you can still imagine it right in your mind. I mean, you can see it right in front of you, especially by nighttime. You hear something outside, it just freaks you out. Well, is it coming back after me, or is it there, or what is it that?
Yeah, see, yeah. I could that's flashbacks, that's PTSD. I don't know. Because when I'm out in the woods and I hear, and I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I'm a man. I'm honest with anybody. When I'm out in the woods and I hear a twig break, I'll be like, "Shh, did you hear that?"
Yep.
Exactly. And I'm not saying it's anything. I mean, it could be a deer, it could be a rabbit that we spooked. Okay, I'm not saying it's a cryptid, ladies and gentlemen, but your awareness is heightened. You're alert. They know you're out there if they're there. So yes, I know what he's going through. I know what he went through. Well, no, I don't know what he went through because I didn't never experience something like that. But I can sympathize with them and have some empathy because I know what it's like being out there in the woods. Now this was during the day, right? When this happened?
It's about 5:00 in the morning.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to get up early in the morning and get out in the woods when I did live there and check all my traps and make sure nothing was wrong, and if I didn't catch nothing, I could reset my trap again. But that morning, I didn't even go back after my traps. I just left them there. I never went back after them.
Wow. Laurel, it's great to find a community understanding people, and people who treat you like you're a liar should be ashamed of themselves. I agree. And that's one thing that I always tell people, you never disrespect people in my groups or in my shows, because I don't tolerate it. You come on, you say what you want to say. If you want to tell your story, tell your story. You want to tell about your encounter, then let's talk about it. Get it off your chest. And when I first talked to Nate, man, I couldn't believe it, especially when he tried to tell people about his story. And I'm not going to mention names or organizations or people, but I was embarrassed that what they did and how they treated him. Now he's a human being. He's got a heart. He's got feelings. Did it happen? Absolutely. I believe him. And if you don't, then that's fine. So what? You don't have to sleep at night like he does. You don't have to replay it in your head like he does. Can you imagine? Now, I'm just going to go off my head, Nate. When you watch movies, does it come back to you on certain scenes?
Oh, yeah. I watch I can watch Mountain Monsters, or I can watch different things like that. Man, it just haunts me bad.
Yeah. This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is the traumatic part that affects people. This is the part that haunts people. Not for months, not for years. It's usually a lifetime. Crazy Witch. I had multiple different experiences with multiple different things, from Bigfoot, black mountain lions, orbs, UFOs, plus a bunch of other things I tell about any of them. Crazy Witch, I have you on my show anytime. Now, I'd probably be in a straitjacket. He would probably make fun of me. Well, they already do, so, what the heck? Why not add something else? Crazy Witch, I agree with you on that, Laurel, 100%. Gigi, you never know. You got to check what the sound is. Gigi, I'll let you go first. And after you check it out, I'll follow. Aussie Sue, why would you why would someone say they seen something that they never knew existed before that night? But I've been researching for years and only found out a few years ago. You're right. That lady that I talked to that night never knew what a dog man was. And we had to educate her live on the show, and she about had a fit. So Crazy Witch with Missy, I love to hear about it. Yeah, we always love to hear about it. That'd be good. That'd be good to have her on the show. Gigi, I have an intense phobia about the woods since a child. And I know why. It's like my soul, my sense knew about it. It's out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have phobias. We all have stuff we're afraid of. It happens. We're human. Nate, what else can you tell people? How to deal with encounters. What are your recommendations?
Well, I don't really know what a recommendation. You should not never make fun of them. You should never not say they're not there, because they are. And, they follow you around whether you're there or not. And never pick up things that don't belong to you in the woods, because it can haunt you. It can come back and haunt you bad. And back in them woods, where I was at, there was all kinds of things laying around, but I never picked them up. And something could be attached to it, and you never know it. And you can bring it out, and it can get into your body.
Yeah. So back where he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. That is an indigenous area known for Indian land, correct?
Yes.
So that's why he was saying that there's a lot of things laying around. So, and I know some part of that area. I'm not saying I'm an expert by any means. I just know part of that land by some past research. And yeah, you do got to be careful about finding things and artifacts. I mean, if you find a mound, are you going to dig in it? No, absolutely not. I didn't hang up on you, did I? Okay. I'm trying to hold my phone just right so you can see my monitor, and clicking on the comments as we go. Brenda, Gigi has your 6. Yeah, Gigi, you go first and I'll follow. I'll make sure you get a good distance though. Missy, Crazy Witch, all in good time. When you're ready, you will. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. If you got an encounter, if you got a story, I'm here. I'll listen. If you want to talk about it, we can have an open forum. I could have up to 10 people live and we can go around and just talk about it. Yeah, I'm down with that. We could have an open mic night. Brendan knows about it. We've done it before. We had an all-nighter where we went to bed with people, and when they woke up, we were still live. And we were just talking about anything and everything. Aussie Sue, I always knew about Yowies. I do not know too much about Yowies. I would love to know more about Yowies. So yeah. Tammy Johnson, welcome. I learned so much watching your show. Well, thank you, Tammy. I greatly appreciate that. I really try. I have a lot of passion in this paranormal realm. I try to do a lot to educate and to share knowledge with everybody. I believe the community should actually be a lot tighter and a lot closer than what it is, and share knowledge and share resources with everybody. But that's my opinion. Missy, Google the Wendigo is said to invoke feelings of insatiable greed, hunger, desire to cannibalize other humans, and to commit murder in those that fall under its influence. Did you hear that, Nate?
Yeah.
That I did not know. That is wow. Aussie Sue, that is wow. Totally agree. Thank you, Aussie. Gigi sounds like 10% of New York. Well, yeah, that's probably right. Crazy Witch, I don't know. I don't have a problem telling about my experience, my issue involving depression and myself, and do stuff. You know what? Who doesn't have depression in this world? Mental health is an issue in society. Mental health is an issue in this world. It is a real concern and it is a real problem. So yeah, I'm not denying it. Everybody's got something. Define normal. What is normal? That's my point. Laurel, LOL, I'm probably going to be looking and touching, but I won't be carrying anything home with me. I don't know if I'll be touching or anything at this point, especially in your area. Brenda, oh yeah. Oh yes, we did. Yeah, I remember that all-nighter. People were with us when they were awake, and people were like, when they got up to go to work, they're like, "You are still live?" Yes, we are still broadcasting, ladies and gentlemen. And we end up in the ditch. But that was another show. Tammy Johnson, that sounds Beddox, do a show like that. Yeah, I'd be down with that if everybody wants to do that. That's not a problem. Like I said, I can have up to 10 people at one time, and we can go around and take turns and talk about different people's experiences and share encounters. I think that'd be real interesting to get that off their chest. And matter of fact, I think I may end up scheduling that probably sometime next week. Probably get a good time. Missy, Crazy Witch. Oh, okay, I understand. Crazy Witch. Thank you, Missy. One day I'll come on. Crazy Witch, it's coming. That is correct. And I actually got some music for you, Crazy Witch. That day is coming. Hopefully sooner than later. Yes, it will. Grizzly will have that happen. Tammy Johnson, thank you, Grizzly. Been watching you a while. Know a lot of psychics. Because I have a canine who finds missing persons. Oh, that's neat. Melissa was on your show once talking about missing Lena. Yes, keep up the super show. Thank you. Well, it's 2 a.m., everyone, here. I'll watch the rest tomorrow night. Good night, Aussie. It is right. And thank you, Crazy Witch. Nate, I just want to say, I know you can't hear none of my sound effects, but thank you so much for coming on the show. Would you like to say anything else to everybody before I let you go?
Yeah, thank y'all for listening. I really appreciate it. But, if you ever go out in the woods and you see these things and you encounter them, you can't make up this silly story. You can't make this story up, people. They don't understand. When you see something, it's there in your mind. You see it all the time. You can't just make up some kind of crazy creature like that because you've seen it in person.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, my heart goes out to you, and for the cryptid community, on the behalf of the cryptid community, I will speak for everybody that's watching. I do apologize how you've been treated over the years, trying to come forward to tell your story. That's not how we actually work. I know there are people out there that falsify things. However, with that being said, people do need to come forward and get it off their chest. And we are out there and here to support people like you and everybody else that have these encounters, because nobody else is out there.
Being on your show.
Well, I
enjoy being on your show.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. And if there's anything else that we can do, or myself, we are here for you, Nate. And I greatly appreciate the time out of your day to come on the show. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Grizzly on the Hunt with Nate. One to go, man. Can you believe that? From coast to coast and around the world. It's that time. I'll see you tonight on our special edition with our true crime show at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, good day.
It's a grizzly.
Should we get out of here?
No, we're gonna watch and listen.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, shit, should we run?
No.
Action.
It's a grizzly.
Oh, should we run?
Okay. It's a grizzly.
Are you sure it's not Chipmunk? Action. No, I'm out of here. Action.
It's a grizzly.
I'm out of here.
Huh. Maybe it is a chipmunk. Shh. It's a grizzly.
Are we gonna die?
I don't know. We're just gonna sit here and listen and watch.
Let's get out of here, maybe.
Fall!